everyone, I'm Jim. Welcome to my channel, Mystery and Mayhem. We're going to try something a little different today. I've got kind of a huge used book haul, and I thought I'd take a page from Nick's book over at the Book Graveyard and Jules Bird over on his channel, and I'm going to show you a different viewpoint than what I normally do. And we're going to go through some used books, a book haul that I did. But first of all, I want to show you these books that I ordered recently regarding, vintage paperbacks. Here in the middle, you'll see something called Paperback Confidential, and this goes through and tells you the biographies and the bibliographies basically of all the like a lot of the vintage paperback writers from back in the day. And there you see Raymond Chandler and Dashiell Hammett. So that's a good book to have if you're into paperbacks, into vintage paperbacks. This one here talks about a lot of the gold medals, a lot of the authors from back in the day, the hard-boiled paperbacks, the noir paperbacks. So that's essays on crime fiction writers from the 50s through the 90s. And here you'll see a book called Sleaze Alley. Now, Jules Bird featured this on his channel just a few days ago, as a matter of fact, and I saw it there and I decided to order it because I have a few of the paperbacks that are featured in this, and this is just a good reference book for that category of fiction, of vintage paperback fiction. So those are good books to have. I just wanted to get that out of the way for people who might want to collect paperbacks, and those are good to have. So let's get started on a bunch of these paperbacks. Now, this is from a few different book hauls, and I just kind of consolidated all into this book haul, kind of doing the high points. This isn't all by any means, just I wanted to show you a good overview of what I have picked up. Now, I got quite a few Mike Shayne books, and that one is Weep for a Blonde by Brett Halliday. And I love these paperbacks. I mean, if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I absolutely love these Mike Shayne paperbacks with these mostly Robert McGinnis covers. There we have Blood on Biscayne Bay. You know, I've got dozens and dozens of these now, just picking them up over the years, and I'm always happy to get more of them. Michael Shayne's Long Chance. Date with the Dead Man. Target Mike Shayne. And these paperback covers are just kick-ass, honestly. They're so good. You know, from the font and the logo down to the actual artwork by Robert McGinnis. There's Murder Spins the Wheel. Brett Halliday, who's better known as Davis Dresser, wrote the first 50 Mike Shayne novels, and then he gave it over to other authors to write. Now that's just a awesome cover right there. Murder Takes No Holiday. You know, and these aren't in the greatest shape, but they're in good enough shape for me. And there is Violence is Golden. So that's it more or less for all the Mike Shaynes I got. I got more, but I'm not going to show them all. Those are just, like I said, just the cream of the crop. Now we're going to get into a few Mickey Spillane, Mike Hammer novels. And there is Kiss Me Deadly. And that's a Signet paperback, a New American Library paperback. And I'd never seen these specific editions before. So they're kind of cool, and I was glad to get those. There is Vengeance is Mine. There is I, the Jury. Let me just get these out of the way, actually, before they get too much. There's The Long Wait. They're just kind of kitschy covers, these ones. And there is a Mike Hammer, The Snake. And Killer Mine. That's not my camera. I do believe that's Lieutenant Joe Scanlon. He wrote a few other characters besides my camera, so, and they're always good. Next pile, I picked up a couple of, what are these called? Gothic romance. Gothics. This is Clarissa Ross, A Hearse for Dark Harbor. I love the covers on these paperbacks. And I have, well, it's called a Avon Gothic Original. And here is one from Helen McGuinness, The Double Image. And she's a famous author, well-known author. The one sci-fi one that I picked up in a whole box of books that I picked up, Brian M. Stableford, Rhapsody in Black. And I forget the artist's name. I should know is that a Kelly Frias maybe cover? He did a lot of those old paperback covers, but that's just awesome. I love that. And here we get into some westerns. Good old westerns here. Here we go. Now these aren't in the greatest shape, but this is an ace double. Massacre Basin by Frank Wynne. And I love to see cowboys in a winter setting like that. And the mountains in the distance. Excellent cover. This is called The Bad Shooters by Clement Hardin. That gives me about, this might be my 5th ace double western paperback I have, but they're very cool. We have The Sharpshooter by John Reese. Very action-oriented cover there on that one. And here we have a photo cover for Luke Short, Rimrock. Now that person on the cover is a famous model who posed for the Doc Savage paperbacks, and he played Flash Gordon in the old Flash Gordon television show, and his name is Steve Holland. So that's just kind of a cool thing to pick up. Nice cover on that. And I'd never heard of this series, Preacher's Law. This is number 2, Trail of Death by Dean L. McElwain. And we have an Amos Flagg book by Clay Randall. Amos Flagg Has His Day. And it was one the town never forgot. Max Brand, The Iron Trail. And a Matt Brown. I used to have more Matt Brown, but for some reason I got rid of them way back in the day. This is number 5 in the series, Luke Starbuck series, The Manhunter. And last western to show you anyway is Ralph Compton's Skeleton Load. And that's a Signet Western. Now this one, I love the James Lee Burke novels, and I had this one, but I gave it to my son-in-law to read, hoping that he would get into the series, into the books. I don't know if he actually did. I should actually ask him about it, but that's a cool cover. And I love the character of Dave Robichaux. You know, really good books. And I didn't know it, but apparently there was a movie based on the Neon Rain with Alec Baldwin. Don't know if I'd watch it, but that's a very cool, colorful cover in good shape. I got a Lee Brackett novel, number 1 in the Eric John Stark series, reintroducing Eric John Stark by Lee Brackett, The Ginger Star. I do believe that's a Jim Steranko cover. Yeah, it is a Steranko cover. So that's cool. That's cool. And of course, another book to add to my Perry Mason collection, The Case of the Fiery Fingers. Spines are rolled, though. You're going to find a lot of these spines are rolled on these. They're not in the greatest shape. But I do love those Perry Mason covers. Here we have a Drake novel by Dan J. Marlowe, Operation Drumfire. Now, I just read one a short while ago. Operation Breakthrough was the first Drake novel that I read, and I really enjoyed it. So that's a nice one to have, and that's a Fawcett Gold Medal book. And this is kind of fun. This is, if any of you out there remember the Cannon TV series, he was a PI. I think it was in the 70s. Pretty sure it was the 70s. So that's Frank Cannon, and it's Lonely on the Sidewalk. And that is written by Paul Denver. So that's cool to have. And that was kind of not a bad series, actually. Now these ones. Okay, now this one is by a horror writer named John Ferris, When Michael Calls. Now, I Googled John Ferris, and apparently this particular book is the one that kind of reinvigorated interest in the kind of 1980s horror. And this is a fairly famous book for that reason. And I've got some others here. All Heads Turn When the Hunt Goes By. Now, these are all 80s horror. But look at that cover. That is such a cool cover. And there is Sharp Practice by John Ferris. And then here we have Nightfall with that colorful cover. Look at that font, Nightfall. That's just awesome. And last but not least, I'll put it up here. I could have done more, actually. I thought this would take a lot longer to do, but I'm not as loquacious as all those other booktubers, and I tend to get to the point a little too quickly. But this is Kong Reborn, the stunning new thriller by Russell Blackford. And this is where they find, like decades later, after the original events of King Kong, they find a giant blood splot when they're renovating the top of the Empire State Building, and I guess they use it to clone Kong. The dried pool of black tarry material proved to be none other than a giant drop of blood from the only creature ever to have scaled New York's tallest building. It was the blood of Kong. So yeah, I had to snag that one when I saw it. Kong Reborn. I'd never heard of this. So that might be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to reading that one. But yeah, that's kind of a different kind of book haul for you, and I wanted to share those with you. And now, I don't know, maybe I'll grab some more and I'll do another one like this. You guys let me know what you thought of this, and I'll talk to you soon. You guys take care and keep reading.